You scroll past another engagement photo, feeling a sharp sense of exclusion. While others leap into partnership, you're left alone, questioning timing, purpose, even your own worth. But new research shows prolonged singleness is not just an accident or oversight. It can become a forced season for deep personal and spiritual transformation, if you know how to navigate the pain and the silence. What unknown opportunities and hidden growth does this season hold? And why might this waiting be exactly what you need right now? I watch my friends swap engagement rings, post baby showers, and move into homes with someone else's name on the mailbox. There is a moment when the group chat goes silent, and I realize I'm the only one left who hasn't responded as a +1. Sometimes it feels like everyone else is moving forward on a schedule that I missed. Studies show that single adults report higher levels of exclusion and loneliness, especially as friends marry and start families. There is a sharp ache that comes with scrolling through another wedding album, a sense of being left behind, not just socially, but in the story I thought I would be living by now. Experts call it timing anxiety, the quiet panic that something essential is passing me by. It isn't just personal, it is the weight of old expectations. The idea that adulthood and worth are measured by milestones I haven't reached. In the quiet, I wonder if I'm the only one who feels invisible, paused while everyone else moves on. After a breakup, the world doesn't just go quiet, it feels hollow. Evenings stretch out longer. The small rituals, sending a goodnight text, planning weekends together, dissolve, leaving hours that used to be filled with someone else's needs and moods. Deleting old photos is its own ceremony. Each image gone, another thread cut. The urge to check their social media or scroll through messages can feel as physical as hunger. Neuroscience studies show that in the first weeks, the brain reacts to lost love with the same craving circuits that respond to addiction. For many, the first month is a blur of longing and restlessness. But as weeks pass, something subtle shifts. The pain, once constant, begins to ease in small pockets. By a few months in, many notice that the ache is less sharp, replaced by an unfamiliar quiet. This space isn't just emptiness, it is unused capacity. A tension that once circled another person now hangs open, waiting for something new to fill it. What begins as vacancy can become possibility, a psychic space where new priorities and deeper questions start to surface. Setting the phone aside, the first taste of silence feels sharp. There is a difference between loneliness and chosen solitude, though it is not always obvious at first. The urge to fill empty minutes with scrolling or background noise is strong. Instead, try a simple practice. 15 minutes with a notebook, writing whatever comes, no filter. Research shows that expressive writing, just a few sessions of 15 to 20 minutes, can ease rumination and help process stress after loss. For some, it is a list of questions. For others, it is a letter never meant to be sent. After writing, pause for 5 minutes, eyes closed, noticing the breath. Studies suggest even short mindfulness sessions, 5 to 10 minutes, can help regulate emotions and steady the nervous system. Another day, try a slow reading of a short text, letting a single phrase linger. These micro-disciplines are not about self-improvement, but about learning to be present to your own life. Stillness becomes a choice, not a sentence. In these small acts, solitude shifts from emptiness to resource, making space for boundaries that will matter in the next season. Deleting the apps is not a grand gesture. It is a quiet act of self-preservation. The first day, the urge to reinstall is constant, like a phantom itch. Dating apps are built on a reward loop. Every swipe and every new match triggers a brief hit of dopamine. For many people, the cycle becomes a way to manage boredom, anxiety, or loneliness, rather than a genuine search for connection. Surveys show that heavy app users, those who spend more than 1 hour a day swiping, report higher anxiety and lower self-esteem than those who use them sparingly or take regular breaks. Many women describe feeling commodified, reduced to a profile, as if worth is measured by algorithms and strangers' judgments. Taking a pause of 1 to 3 months is not just about avoiding bad dates. It is about reclaiming attention and mood from a system designed to keep you hooked. After a few weeks, the background anxiety starts to fade. The mind feels less scattered, less on display. In that space, it becomes possible to notice what you actually want, apart from the noise of constant evaluation. For some, this is the first real boundary set in years. It is a small, powerful refusal to let worth be determined by the marketplace of swipes. Pain, when it lingers, becomes more than a wound. It starts to act like a compass. Psychologists describe this as pain as data, meaning disappointment and heartbreak send signals about attachment patterns and unmet needs. Moderate adversity, especially when paired with reflection or support, is linked to higher coping skills and emotional flexibility. For many, the losses of singleness, plans that fell through, friendships that shifted, dates that never called back, offer a steady stream of feedback. Instead of treating each letdown as a verdict, it becomes possible to ask, what is this teaching me about how I connect? Attachment research shows that, over time, seasons without a partner can help recalibrate the nervous system. The urge to chase after unavailable love or to shut down entirely starts to quiet. Naming needs becomes less frightening. Setting boundaries, once a last resort, turns into a daily practice. People who engage in honest reflection, therapy, or spiritual direction during these periods often report a new sense of competence, being able to soothe themselves, tolerate waiting, and seek support without panic. Pain in this context is not just something to be survived, but a teacher that shapes more secure, grounded patterns for the future. A surprising number of single adults find themselves in classrooms long after their friends have settled into family routines. The median age for marriage now hovers around 28 for women and 30 for men. But the years between college and those milestones have stretched wider than ever. In graduate programs, certification courses, and night classes, it is common to see women who are not yet married pouring their energy into new skills and advanced degrees. Census data shows that in the 25 to 34 age bracket, most adults are unmarried, making singleness the norm, not the exception in these spaces. Flexibility without a partner's schedule or children's needs allows for bold moves, late-night study sessions, cross-country relocations, or launching a new business. For some, this season is not just about career or education. It is about discovering a self that is not defined by relationship status. One narrator finishes a long-postponed certification, finding a quiet satisfaction in her own competence. Another gathers neighbors to start a community project, her evenings filled with purpose and laughter. These stories reveal a different kind of progress, one measured not by rings or announcements, but by the bricks quietly laid in the foundation of a whole life. Before sunrise, a quiet moment of prayer feels less like a transaction and more like a conversation. Gone is the old pattern, bargaining with God, offering faith in exchange for a promised outcome. Over time, the language of prayer changes. Instead of asking, "When will you give me what I want?" the question becomes, "How do I walk with you through what is?" Spiritual guides describe this as moving from transactional faith to companionship. Trust is no longer tied to guarantees or deals. Faith development models suggest this is a sign of maturity. It means letting go of the idea that devotion earns results, and instead, learning to trust presence over performance. In this space, trust is not a lever but a way of being, rooted, steady, able to companion longing rather than erase it. The story shifts from waiting for answers to living with God in the questions. Across the country, the number of adults who have never married continues to rise. In the United States, more than half of adults are now single, an unprecedented shift in the social landscape. This is not just a statistic. It is a new margin that quietly reshapes what is possible. Without the constraints of a partner's job or a family's routine, single-age adults are showing up in places that require flexibility, serving abroad, stepping into leadership roles, and moving for opportunities that would have been impossible a generation ago. In that space, the margin creates room to choose different paths. For many, this margin becomes preparation. Skills such as emotional regulation, vocational clarity, and spiritual depth are developed in the quiet years, not as a consolation prize, but as a foundation for impact. In these hidden seasons, growth takes root where few are watching, and the story being written is one of capacity, not just waiting. Today, nearly half of American adults are single, a record high. As cultural expectations shift, solitude is no longer a pause between lives. It is a proving ground for deeper identity and faith. The real question is, who do you become when waiting is the answer? Share your perspective below.